So, you managed to stumble on this video. That's cool. Well, if you're a homie or just in need of advice, you've come to the right place. I don't know if I'd say my advice would be the most helpful, but at the same time, in looking up guides for Isshin in the past, I haven't really been able to find that much helpful advice. I got some pretty decent tips here and there from a couple videos that I adapt into this video, but I think I just want this video to be me commentating over the boss and putting in my 2 cents here and there. This probably won't be too helpful if you already know what you're doing, but this is the first time I beat Isshin, so this is just my advice, and let's just get in. Let's get into it, guys. Let's stop stumbling over our words and cut the B-roll. Grab your breezes, grab your pens, and chief on them. Just relax and let this man rumble over his words. Okay, now for real, let's get it. Let us get on with the boss. We all know that it's Genichiro in the beginning, but he's honestly not too big of a deal after you get a hang of him. It's really just about learning his attack patterns. He always does that, forget what his blade is called, but he will always do that in the beginning. You can always just run back and then he'll jump at you and you can do a meek counter. My Genichiros have kind of been cheap towards the latter half of my attempts at Isshin, but you know, we're just chilling, getting through it. This isn't really the main attraction or what you should be looking for with this, because honestly, by the time I got around to finally beating Isshin, Genichiro wasn't an issue at all. Yeah, it hit me every now and then, but he's definitely not what I needed help with. So if you need help with Genichiro, I'm sorry, but this ain't your guide B. I'm gonna take a little breeze break as I watch this feed play through. Now, I wouldn't really expect too much from this. I'm kind of just geefing him, gaffing him, laughing him, crying him, wheezing. But let's get into some actual tips. Now, when I fought Isshin, I would always run over here because I found that in a guide. It kind of just helps, gets things out of the way. Now, prosthetic tool, you should have a hat because it helps in the later stages. The double Ishimori also helps as, forget what it's actually called. Sekiro guide over here, but he doesn't know what it's called. You know what? It's all good. I'm chilling. But honestly, this man just dinks you all around. Honestly, you just gotta try to get perfect parries. Always try to meeker counter that. The window is a little short sometimes, but after a while you'll start to get a hang of it. When he does that, I always found that it's best to do an overhead, but I got stuck on the tree right here, as you can see. I was pretty pissed off about that in the moment. When he does that, you always want to dash around him though. You can get a pretty good heavy attack. It's all about the parries. Honestly, I got his health down quite a bit. I know people always go for posture, but sometimes I play like a pussy in Sekiro. But it's all good. It's only the first time around, so I'm sure I'll get better in the end. Another breeze break real quick. You feel me? Yeah, as you can see, taking a little bit of damage, but it's all good. Once again, meeker counter that and bash him a couple times. Starting to get the hang of that. Just dash around and bop. Now with that, I did not realize in the beginning, and sadly, I don't know why, but all you really have to do for that is jump. Like, you can either jump on him or jump, and you'll completely avoid that every single time. So, you'll see I'll eventually learn from my errors in the past and start adapting that in this, but for now you'll see me stumble. Still just biding my time. Waiting for a second phase. Almost on us. Almost on us. Honestly, first phase isn't too bad once you get a hang of it. I personally thrive in phase 2 just because it's a lot more like he's in your face and you can parry a lot more often. With this, it's just really like biding your time. With that, you can use your hat. Honestly, I just always run away because I don't even want to interfere with that. I always tend to get hit, but the hat will always counter it. Yeah, you see me pop it out right there to finish him off. Get a nice little cool backstab, and we're on to our second phase. Now you can actually interrupt him from pulling out his spear if you continuously attack him, but as you see there, it's kind of finicky. You can pull it out fairly fast sometimes. Reapply the sugar and we're into it, boys. Now second phase is a little bit trickier. You really need to know what you're doing here. With that, I always found that the hat was useful, but he also does a sweep where you can jump over and one where you can Mikri. So stay tuned for that. I hate those blasts, man. Yeah, right there you can jump on them and you won't get hit. Right there was a little bit of misfortune, but you know, it's all good. Started doing a little bit of damage to him, but it took me a second. It's really about just not being nervous. By the time I fully just committed to trying to take him down, I just went into it with no fear in mind. The first couple attempts, I was pissing my pants, especially like first time I got to phase 3, man. I was like, my heart was in my chest, obviously, but like it was beating out of my chest. It was beating all brazy. But yeah, still not really getting his health, but it's all good. Like I said, this probably isn't the best guide because like my gameplay obviously doesn't support that, but I do kill him in this, so I at least know what I'm doing to an extent. Yeah, so right there, you start jumping over him, get some real nice posture damage going. I'm just waiting for him to show off some things that I can talk about, honestly. As you saw there, that was a pretty helpful use of the hat. Still just jumping on that fool though. This old man can really take a beating. Kind of started getting a little reckless with that there, but it does do quite a bit of posture damage and pipe. You know what? I ain't even worried about editing that out. I end this fool. But let's get back into this. I lost track for a second because I'm Jeezing. Just some crazy brazy moves. Yeah, right there. Always Mikri counter that. Sometimes you're not within range to hit him though, which kind of sucks, but it's better than getting hit, so I'd always recommend trying to get that Mikri counter. Get it again right there, yes sir. Didn't get that time, kind of fucked up, but it's all good. Retreat to heal, get rid of that posture, then back into it. Almost done, almost done. That's so satisfying to get, man, especially the Mikri counter sound. Every time I hear that, it's just music to my ears. Really ramping up now. That was a nice little counter that I got, but I still did take damage, but oh yeah, the hat also, it's good as a last substitute because if you're really high on guard, you can use it to pretty much just automatically have a free breakaway. It'll break your guard, but you won't take any damage, so it's all good. And just like that, on to phase 3. This phase, yeah, it's crazy. But after a while, it's alright. Yeah, right there I switched to Mortal Draw because I was panicking, man. Got that nice 1-2 going. With that, honestly, you can just use the hat to counter that. I was freaking out because, like I said, this was the first time I beat him, so my heart was definitely racing right here, but after a while, I was just like, you know what, this is the run. I refuse to die again. This is going to be the run. Pretty low on gourds, but it's all good. Yes, the lightning attacks. Sekiro really did us good with those lightning attacks. Or not a Sekiro, just the whole dev team. Anybody who said, you know what, let's add lightning into this game as a parry, just give yourself a little pat on the back. We almost there, it's almost the end. We got this. Just cheesing, jumping over his head, smacking that fool with lightning. You really don't know what's coming. Yeah, that's what happens when you fail a parry, but it's all good. You see the stamina. The stamina, I meant to say, you see the bar in the top of the screen. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. Time to parry right into that death blow. Ah, these two-parter death blows in Sekiro are so cool, man. But just like that, it's over. I hope this could have at least helped one person. Might not be that helpful considering it's just me rambling over this, but I wanted to upload this gameplay because I was so thrilled when I beat this boss. I literally stood up and started doing a victory dance, and not many games will get that out of me. This boss took me like 12 hours to beat, so I was thrilled. Anyways, see ya. One last breeze rip for the road.
I just fucking beat Isshin without dying once! I fucking did it! I did it!